Okay, Yahoo.
All right, hi everyone. Thank you for joining today. This is Bishwajit. I am founder at Protrainy. Protrainy is Indian Institute of Management Ahmedabad Ventures funded startup that upskills construction professionals, pan India and core engineering professionals in manufacturing, oil and gas, etc. And we have upskilled more than 16,000 professionals from 700 companies pan India and in 10 countries as of now. Today, I'm glad to welcome our guest for today. So we have with us Mr. Manu Gopal Krishna. He has a tremendous experience of 26 plus years now. Has is a project management professional. Has an experience in tender, project control, planning in various sectors, including buildings, high-rise buildings, commercial projects, oil and gas sector. He has previously been associated with uh, companies like Petronas, Technip, and he has been very instrumental in international projects across the board. In India, he has been associated with CIP in Mumbai as of now as a DGM. He has a great experience. It brings up a great experience in this sector. And Sir has done his graduate from Kerala University, and today we would start up so by welcoming you. We are really thankful that you've given a consent to be there with us live. And the first question that I would ask is to know, because you have a considerable experience in this field in oil and gas sector, in residential projects, etc. The first question would be that how to start a career, like from your early stage, how did you chose to start a career in construction as a civil engineer, and what has been the journey post that? Like, if in a crisp manner you can tell us.
It is it is simple that once we are joining in an engineering field, if it is civil or mechanical or electrical or instrumentation or process, anywhere. I completed my civil engineering in 1998, and after then I joined in KTI, which is Kinetic Technology India Limited. I was a refractory engineer on that time, and after then, in the same project, after completing their 6 month contract, I joined in another company which is the same project, that is Neo Structure Company. It's a purely structural company. It was also in the refinery project. Then I moved to Bima Construction Group. So basically, they are doing buildings, culverts, and roads, you know, this type of things. Then I moved to Central Owners Depot. Why? Because actually I got the opportunity to work over there in Central Owners Depot. Why? Because my uncle was there as a major, as general actually. So he put me over there for experience and all these things, especially for the underground bunkers, underground hangars for the patent tanks and the flights. It is in Begadabadi. Nobody can see what is inside. It's a vast area. So under the underground, we are having hangars, helicopter hangars, flight hangars, tank hangars. Everything is there, fully underground. Then I moved to abroad. I got a job in government of Dubai in under rulers department. Rulers department means the kings and all these departments. So I was there as a senior structural or project engineer, we can say. So looking after all the projects of stakes, all the projects of the stakeholders and other things. Then the localization came, and I moved to Rasco Building Contracting, which is in Sharjah. They are purely in building and malls construction. So my high-rise building experience is 40 plus 1, which means 40 floors plus one penthouse. So we are calling 40 plus 1. Then again, I moved back to oil and gas. I joined in Nasser Hajri in Qatar under Dolphin project, and I got the award from Dolphin Energy. Uh, then I moved to Saudi Arabia. It is a shutdown project. It is also oil and gas shutdown project as a project controls manager. So that project was also completed. Then I got an invitation from U.S. Army Corporation of Engineers. So U.S. Army Corporation of Engineers was purely based on American, American military engineers and things, and they interviewed me, and I passed them. Then I moved to Afghanistan. So Afghanistan is a place. It's a nice place actually. They love Indians very much. I'm not saying that place is not good, but it is very good for Indians. I joined in U.S. Army Corporation of Engineers, and it was mainly airport and the fuel tank projects because
Okay.
Afghanistan doesn't have the fuel. Afghanistan is taking the fuel from Kazakhstan through pipeline and it is storing in a tank. So the tank we need to construct. Meantime, I got to the another responsibility also to conduct the airport portion. So I was involved in the Kabul airport, almost in the completion stage. Then I moved back to Techni, France. 2 years I worked in France. Rest I moved to Abu Dhabi for the same company. So there I did lot of projects that will explain to each and everything. Your our gentleman will ask what are the things, so I can explain what are the things are done in technique. Now I am just saying only the companies. Then I moved to Petronas on 2007. Sorry, on 2016 I moved to Petronas. It's a 3-year contract. 2016 I came back. I joined in Protocon BTG, which is located in Delhi as a project controls manager, and I done the Adani's Mudra project, lifting loading, yeah, and substations, control rooms, and other systems, and tanks, and pavings, the warehouse as well. Okay. In the meantime, I got one more charge as a project manager for the PMC for bullet train project. So I was the project manager for the from the project management project management consultancy side. I was the project manager for the bullet train project.
Okay.
Due to COVID in 2020, the office was closed because Bombay was panic about COVID and everybody was at home and nobody work at home only.
I'll just, I think we have listened to a great experience you have in various of the sectors across the globe. Now, coming to the very first question on this point, that you come from a oil and gas industry, or spent quite some time. How do you see, like, people who are currently aspiring to join that career, who are currently in maybe infra in sector in India or in building projects, how they can start a career in oil and gas sector? That's how do you think? And even applying for international projects, there are a lot of young freshmen and engineers in the early stage of the career looking to start working in Middle East or countries. How should they apply? What are the skills that they should have? What are the networks connects that they should have? What is your take, sir?
See, now these days, if a person completing the engineering, especially civil, mechanical, process, electrical instrumentation, even painting and installation, HSC, these persons have a course for the oil and gas. They can attend the course in that. Otherwise, if you know somebody for in any company through his recommendation, he can enter to this project in the oil and gas industry. Okay, the fourth one, because in oil and gas industry is a vast area. In oil and gas industries, we need civil engineers, we need process engineers, we need safety engineers, we need civil and structural engineers, we need electrical engineers, we need instrumentation engineers, we need painting and installation engineers. You know, these all engineers will come, right? In oil and gas. So everybody have a vast scope over there. So how to enter in the sense, First of all, we need to take some courses or some advanced studies. That is my way of thinking. Why? Because now everybody is after BTech, they are going to write bank tests. I don't know why. They are you people. I mean, engineering people are ruining others' life also. Others have degree, BSc, something like degree. They are able to write the bank test. If you are an engineer, you need to concentrate in engineering activity only rather than put the others in trouble. So this is my first advice. Huh? So oil and gas industry. So I told how we can enter to that. Just one,
Okay.
if you completing the course, like suppose one company is doing the oil and gas courses in Delhi, Bombay. I saw a lot of institutes are doing oil and gas courses. Even in Cochin, Kerala, they are having. So that is simple. So if you have a certificate, you are joining as a freshener. Not a problem. Nobody will. But in oil and gas, there is three sections. First section is project management, second
Okay.
section is engineering, fourth is procurement, and the fifth is construction. And moreover, from the construction, pre-commissioning and commissioning is also there. Anybody have any
So
doubt?
what's the life cycle? What's the life cycle of a oil and gas project?
Yeah, it's a very good question actually. Yeah, it's a very good question. The life cycle of a project.
Yes, sir. What we would love to know about the life cycle of an oil and gas project that you were saying, sir.
Yeah, see, actually, we first what we will do, we want to buy something or we want to build something. So what we will do, we will think first, right? We will have a concept, right, sir? So first is concept. Then
Okay.
we are seeing that concept can be feasible or not, right?
Okay.
If the feasibility study is completed, process engineering or our geotechnical engineering persons will give an idea that we can proceed with the project. Next
Yeah.
step after concept, we will go for the front end engineering design feed, FEED, feed.
Okay.
In the feed, we will issue the last drawing as IFA issued for approval. How getting it is approval? We have several steps. First, we need to draw the drawings. We need to submit to the client. Client will comment. We will incorporate the comments. We will submit it again. So it is three to four cycles will come. The last one is IFA issued for approval. Okay,
Okay.
that is a feed. For every feed up to IFA, it will be done. So,
Okay.
concept, feasibility, feed, then we are moving part to EPC, engineering, procurement, and construction. That is applicable for oil and gas on your building works or railway works or any other works. We have to do the engineering, we have to do the procurement, we have to do the construction plus commissioning activities. So these all the things will come in that. Even if it is building case, even if it is infrastructure, even if it is airport, even if it is oil and gas. Okay.
Okay.
Anybody have any doubt?
Yeah. So,
Okay,
in terms
fine.
of uh,
In terms
onshore and
of,
offshore,
yes, sir.
yeah. So go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Sir, I will explain one more thing for the oil and gas project for you. That in oil and gas, the amount what we are getting from the client is based on some percentages, right? If I complete a 10 percentage, I am able to get the 10 percentage of the total amount from the client. Am I right?
Yeah.
So for your understanding or for my understanding also, engineering will calculate based on the man hours,
Correct.
right? Procurement will be calculating based on the cost.
Yeah.
Fabrication and construction will consider based on the quantity, and
Yes.
delivery of the procurement items is based on the numbers. Instead of cost, we are using numbers. Why we are not showing cost to the client? Cost is our side. We are purchasing. So the benefits and all those things will be in our side. So we will take the elements each by each and put it by numbers. There should be a starting date and a finishing date, right? So engineering, procurement, construction. After construction, we are going by the pre-commissioning and commissioning. How we are doing the pre-commissioning and commissioning? After construction, or 80 percentage of the construction completed, we have to make a system. Pre-commissioning will do the progressing and the work will do based on the systems, based on the system priority.
Okay.
Pre-commissioning and commissioning is purely based on the system, which will reflect in the finish milestone. So what are the systems needs to be completed earlier to complete the milestone, that we have to concentrate. That is what I told, but it has to buy system. In system, hydro
Yes.
test will come, hydro test
Okay.
will come, right? Then the welding will come, the hydro test, some other types of welding joints will come, and the welding testing will be there, and we are having the cathode protection and all the things over there. Then we are have the painting and insulation to resist the temperature. So these all things will be there. So all the things are there in the commissioning or pre-commissioning and commissioning part. So we are safe and we are able to hand out the project. The question
Okay.
what you ask, what is the difference between onshore and offshore?
Yes, sir.
The onshore construction is always a greenfield area. Greenfield area means it is a project which doesn't have any constraints.
Yes.
That type of areas we are called green area. And if we are doing the work in the existing
Brownfield.
industry, so that area we are called the brown area. So it will be very sensitive, very, very sensitive. Each and everything needs to be by hours. Even if you're taking food, maximum you can allow 15 minutes to 30 minutes. Why? Because it is a brownfield area 24 hours or 18 hours we cannot work. Because other that plant is running plant
Yeah.
actually. Because it is
Yeah.
a shutdown.
Yeah.
So they need to complete the before shutdown. Shutdown is maximum 6 months for almost every big project. We have to complete all the repairing, revamping, replacement, reunion, everything to be done in the 6 months. The whole plan. So
Okay.
that is by timing, not by quantity or something. Nothing. No, timing, completion. That is the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so the oil onshore means the almost the slug catcher area, which means the filtration areas, and the compressors like a booster gas compressor, like a feed gas compressor, diesel generator, substations, control rooms, pipe rack, retaining walls. These all will come in the onshore area. In
Correct.
offshore, we have limited access and we are having rotating and static equipments in
Okay.
the wellhead. Wellhead is the area which we are extracting the oil from the pipe. From after the drilling, the oil will come to the wellhead. From the wellhead through the pipeline, it will come to the central processing platform. From there, it will again move to the refinery for the refining. So from the refinery, we will get all the categories what we required. petrol, crude oil will be the crude oil system and vacuum system. So the gases will come in the vacuum system, and the rest of all the part of the crude oil, like bitumen. Bitumen is the last portion, and before that we will get all the things in the refinery. So that is the strategy of onshore and offshore. In onshore also
You had
same,
been
but
mentioning
because
you are
in
yeah.
onshore, the major thing is that almost the equipment, almost the compressors having the foundation will be piling. I mean, the pile foundation mandatory for all the equipment's foundation. For offshore, only foundation required, only piling required for jackets. Jackets are the in the sea. You can see the Christmas
Yes.
trees and all these things. So
Yeah.
these will do the piling in the sea up to shallow water level, we can say around the 1500 feet, and deep water level around on of 3000 to 4000 feet. So up to that area we have to cast the piling, and the top of the pile casing, we are linked with the wellhead pipes and all these things. And because after the drilling it has to come to the wellhead, right? So there will be the joint. There will be the joint for the piping, the drilling piping head, and to the wellhead uh, bottom portion. That is called the riser. Through the riser, we will get the crude oil. So in the refinery, by vacuum system or crude oil dynamic system, we are separating these things and we are distributing to other companies, like HPCL and other things. So that is the
So there
major
was
thing
a
in the
point, sir,
onshore.
I wanted to ask is, yeah. So you were saying about paintings and in
Insulation.
pipelines, and kind of that insulation in pipelines. Now, pipelines are very one of the most critical parts in an oil and gas project, right? So,
You are
I
absolutely right.
lot of these people, not only in oil and gas, even in someone who are into water distribution projects, etc. For them also, it is a very critical part. Pipeline is a very critical part, and even for
Right.
steel plants and etc. So, what do you under like? If you can shed some light on the KPIs in terms of pipings projects that we focus upon for the students,
Good
for
question.
the engineers to work around.
Good question. Because if it is a good company, they should have a good KPI. So we can easily refer that KPI for this project, right? That's the basic thing. Otherwise, there is a international standards for doing each and everything. Like for example, for a pipeline, what we required, how we are measuring the pipeline. It is by dia inches only, right? Dia inches, right? So if it is so piping is in two sections. One is even for the water treatment plant or sewage treatment plant, or in the oil and gas pipeline. I am talking about pipeline. Pipeline having two sections. One is large bore and one is small bore pipes. Pipes actually. It's not
Yeah,
pipeline. It's pipe actually.
nice.
So 6 inch is the up to 6 inch is small bore. After 6 inch, it will be large bore. So a crew, how much they can complete the welding in a day for a large bore. Onshore, it will be in between 18 to 24 dia inch. A
Okay,
crew, one welder, one fitter, one helper, one fabricator, right?
okay,
And
okay,
for a small bore, we are able to get 9 to 10 or 11, because small bore piping welding is very, very difficult and congested also.
okay.
So these are things we are calculating based on the international standards and in experience as well. Everywhere in any project, the project controls or the planning or cost will record the man hours used for the piping per day, how many dia inches, how many man hours used. So we will easily able to get the KPIs. If the
Yes.
KPI is one larger than one, we are ahead. If KPI is 1, we are online. If KPI is negative, we are delay the project. We are in delay the project. Are you understand, sir?
Okay. So
Yeah.
now when we see projects in this scale, like oil and gas projects would have refineries in place, a lot of tertiary like it's not only civil projects. Like there are a lot of mechanical implements and
Right,
projects
right,
that
right.
come in picture in this. So once you grow as a project manager, or you grow into that level, like you are into a DGM level, or like you have in oil and gas projects, now that you are into building projects and all, but in oil and gas projects, etc., how do you see the perception of management? What are the things that are very critical in oil and gas projects? Like day to day, what are the things that you are very concerned about in terms of speeding up the project? Because one of the thing that is concerning in this kind of projects is delay can be costing in like millions and billions in oil and gas, because it has an import export implementation. There is a lot of implementation. It's not a very secluded project that is happening in one country. It has an implication in the entire globe. There is a supply chain in vessels and fuel and crude oil, etc. So how do you see in terms of construction management things that are very critical in this kind of project that one should be very focused upon, so to not make delays, like at least they can try?
In a project, there is two parts. One is project management, one is construction management, right? So, in the project management, I am adding engineering also, including that project management. We should have a good engineering team to deliver the drawings on time to the procurement or to the construction. Two sides. If it is an equipment, it will go to the procurement, and same time it will go to the civil construction for making the foundation, right? So procurement will evaluate commercially, technically, then they will issue for the PO, and then manufacturing and delivery will be the time for the construction to prepare the foundation. Once it is arrived, we are making it the erection, and that portion is solved, right? So that is what I told you. In a project management, the bible major bible, I am using the word bible, is integrated master schedule.
Okay.
We need to follow the dates and times in the schedule to achieve the milestone on time to avoid the delays.
Okay.
Every month we have to do the delay analysis based on the completion of the project. The remaining duration has to be recalculated if we are not achieved the percentage which we planned, and that will consider that how we are considering the remaining duration based on the KPI of the other 10 percentage you completed. That KPI I am taking, and I am using that KPI in the rest of the work. Suppose if we have 40 days of duration, in 10 days duration, you completed 5 dia, and in remaining duration, only 30. So, how you can complete it, the around 150 dia if you are completing 5 dia in 10 days. So, how many days required? Because your KP is very poor. So based on the KPI, we have to look into the subject, that is it the problem of the delay of drawing or delay of material or competency of the worker,
Okay.
right? So the remaining quantity equals to the remaining duration. That will be very deterministic to the pupil to complete the project on time, but at any cost we have to stick on the milestones, because none of the client will not allow to change the milestone except we are getting extra variation order. If we are having variation order, if the variation order is exceeding the master integration schedule, we are okay. If the variation order is different than the master integration schedule activities, of course, we are able to ask to the client that we need a little bit more days due to these are the activities we need to do. It is not the part of master integrator schedule, right?
Correct. No, yes, sir. So now that we are nearing the completion of this thing, but there are a couple of things that I want to understand. Most important is that since you have worked in oil and gas, challenges are very different than real estate projects, right? It's a very complex project. Now, any example that of a very complex kind of a situation that have you have used your management, project management things? Any example of the projects and how you were able to solve any one example that you can recollect from your oil and gas experience that engineering side you would help
Yes,
any pro-
it is not only for one project. I'm saying
okay.
I faced a lot of you know risk factors in my throughout project life. Some are more critical, some are critical, some are
Any one
trivial.
example,
Yeah,
let's
I
say
will.
any one
I'm
example.
coming into that. The
Yes,
criticality, the risk will, first of all, we have to look the risk register. How much it will be the risk. So we will know the risk factor, right? So based on the risk factor, during the project, suddenly one risk will come, risk came. That is, suppose if I am doing drilling work in offshore or in onshore, both. If I am doing drilling work in onshore or in offshore, some areas the drilling piping cannot be landed vertically. It will be the problem because of the rocks, even in onshore or in offshore. So we are again going for the diagonal way, diagonal drilling. That is one of the concerns. Then during the same processing of drilling, the temperature of the crude oil will be very high. The temperature of the crude oil getting very high from the seaside or from the earth side from in onshore. So for
okay. So in the
resolving
collection it is
that,
very high. In the while you are drilling, is
the
the crude oil very hot and etc. I had no idea because I come from marine and
yeah,
etc. I
yeah,
have no idea.
yeah, it will be high. The temperature will be sometimes it will be high for sometimes. Huh? That's what because risk is not for every product. No, sometimes it
Okay.
will be getting high, and we need to do the debottlenecking. If the temperature is moving in such a way that from the two sides we have to do the debottlenecking to paralyze the temperature or the flow. To maintain the flow of the oil, we have to do the debottlenecking as a separate project. That is what I'm telling. Separate project in the same project. Because we are having a scope you understand work, having the variation due to the risk, we have to do the debottlenecking, which will not be the part of the main scope. It will be another scope. You got my point. So it will contain risk. It will contain cost. It will contain time, means schedule. So these all considered, then only we can schedule the matter and we are getting the final date. So that is what I told. The risk and the critical hazards can come anytime, anywhere, even for the piling, even for the erection also. Even suppose if I am telling one thing for the erection, My guys done a blunder mistake. The static equipment, because static equipment means it's like a storage tank or something, because the machinery is not working in their own side. So that is that we are calling static. If a if a system, if an equipment is working uh, itself, we are saying it's a rotating equipment, right? So actually, the mainly the static things will come in the middle deck or in the lower deck, because it is a storing yard, storing unit actually, static equipment. So what the thing is done, my guys done in the middle thing, and the lower deck is became almost empty, because in there we can say, we cannot say that it is empty, because some of the equipments are there, but the major static solid items needs to be coming under the middle deck.
Okay.
In the upper deck only rotating equipment, because it is that directly connecting to the wellheads. These are the things will happen due to the mismanagement, miscommunication, and misleading of the drawing. So this will also come.
So this is one
And
thing that
one
comes
more
in
risk I
mind.
can say that
Yeah. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir. Sorry. Go ahead, sir.
even the same thing happened in the procurement, because the vendor data, the vendor are giving the data, we are reviewing, and we are sending back to vendor and the client and all these things. So it will take more time. If it is taking more time, the activity, the material is LLI, long lead item. We cannot
Yeah.
take so much of review times for that. It's a long lead item. Long lead item will come around 1 year to 1.5 year. So that is one of the major risks. If that item is not there, we lost. We lost the project. We lost the project. If LLI is not come on time, we cannot manufacture. It has to come from France, or it has to come from any other European country or any other countries. Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah. Yeah, good, sir. So I think what we have understood is that risk is one risk management that a lot of civil engineers in the junior or early stage of the career think it's not very critical. But out understanding from you, what I conclude is I think risk management is one of the most critical aspect when you are managing projects of this
Yes.
scale. It's something very very
Right.
critical. And any final bidding advices for people in project management? What are the mistakes that you see in junior cadres when you're managing, that you think that two three advices that you want to give to them, that they should be very doing this, like taking care and like not doing this kind of mistakes? Any mistakes that you've seen in your juniors that are regular, irrespective of what you do in civil engineers, they would do? So, what do you think that they should not do, like mistakes that they should
The,
abstain from?
straightly, I'm saying the freshness. Most of the freshness. I'm not saying everybody. Most of the freshness are not listening to the seniors. They don't, and they are not listening or learning how the seniors works and how they are involved with them. Commonly, it is a fault of seniors also. Suppose for engineering have a lead engineer and a junior engineer, right? So it is the responsibility of the lead engineer to take up the junior guy to understand these things. But for that purpose, the junior engineer should have the willingness to listen, to understand, to read, and try to make risk attempt. Once we are not doing any attempt in the whole life, you will be like a junior engineer, which means life and project is a risk and luck. Saying it very clearly. If we are
Uh,
not going to grasp the things, if you are not listening the things properly from one engineering team to another engineering team, no, we need to, we are failed. We will be in the same, we will be in the same house. You cannot change it to villas and all these things, or apartments
okay.
or all things. Okay. So first of all, I am telling even the civil engineering, because majorly almost the things are there, but in infrastructure, structural is the main thing. So what is the things required for structural? Actually, you need a structural drawing. Structural drawing, what we need, how we are making the structural drawing, you need the structural load. How we will calculate the structural load based on the scope of work. We are taking the risk from the feed to make the structural load. So without taking risk, without taking the, what I am saying, without taking the intention to grasp, we cannot move. And after completing the engineering, civil engineering, you have two options. If you want to go to civil engineering, I mean to construction site, you have construction, you have fabrication, you have piping, you have everything is there. Construction side, foundation, civil for the foundation, structural works and everything. If you are going for the design side, you must have to be having some softwares like STUD, AutoCAD, STUD Pro, some other 3D, and lot of things you need to do as a designing engineer. Then only you can be a engineering manager for any project.
Got it.
If you are going for
Great, sir.
engineering, okay, this is, you can be the engineering manager. If you are doing planning, costing, risk, contract, quality, you can be the project manager, and the project manager capability will lead you to make a AG, AGM, I mean AGM. Then now I am in the position of DGM. So there are planning is there, project management, engineering management, same like procurement. If you are expert with the vendors and all these things, you are one or two projects, you can grasp from your senior how many days. This equipment will take this many days. These are the vendors. These are the things must you must have to know. Then you can the next project you can apply with the help of your lead, but you can do that. Try to do that initially. Mistakes will come. None of the persons are perfect. Mistakes will come. I'm sure mistakes will come. Don't bother about that. That is your lead engineer's ability, not yours.
Got
If
it,
you
sir.
are not working because of lead will shout on me, if you think in that way, you will be sitting in the same seat. Lead will fly again and again, and he will be the engineering manager. Then he will say, see, this guy was there in that project with me, still he is sitting in the same seat. So we have to be updated. We have to be updated on the based on the software, especially for engineering. For construction, it is same. Civil construction, fabrication construction. Fabrication had installation. That is also the civil engineer's job. Plus one erection engineer will be there. That will be the part of mechanical actually, because the crane load and all these things civil are not, structural engineers are not considering. Only mechanical engineer are doing based on the cranes and these things. But the civil engineer means the structural engineers having a curious part on that. So I hope I covered almost the things which you asked.
Right, sir.
If you have anything, please let me know.
It was a delight. It was a delight to host you, sir, because most importantly, you have a tremendous experience on oil and gas. Now that we, on our platform, come across a lot of people who are trying to understand oil and gas because it is not a very common sector that people directly get exposed. People like you who are experienced in oil and gas sector, they are the lights of hope that engineers who are listening today, they listen and they know what oil and gas sector is and what are the insights about it, and especially on the construction management in oil and gas sector or project management in oil and gas sector. We're really thankful, glad, sir, that you could give us some time, and everyone who has joined today with us at Protrainy Through the Lens of Civil Engineer Season 2. We're really thankful and wish you all a great evening. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate your time. We are really thankful, sir. Thank you. Have a great day ahead, everyone. Good night.
Thank you very much and keep in touch. Keep in touch always. Thank you very much.